Today you're going to be learning how to sew a button. You will need the following supplies. These are all in your sewing kit that you picked up at iPad Pickup. You need your spool of thread, although mine is black, yours might be a different color. You need your needle, which should be on a colorful piece of felt. So you should have in your kit a big brown piece and then a small white and black piece. The one that has the needle on it is the one that you need for this project. And since we're sewing buttons, obviously you need buttons. There will be one that has 2 holes on it and one that has 4 holes. Your buttons might be colorful, they might be different shapes, they might be big, they might be small, but as long as you have one with 2 holes and one with 4 holes, you're good to go. The last thing that you need is a pair of scissors. Now, I didn't include those in your sewing kit, but you should have some around the house. The first thing you need to do is cut a piece of thread. Make it about the length of your arm. Then we're gonna thread our needle. Put one end of the thread through the eye of the needle and pull it all the way through. Gather both ends of your thread together and we're gonna tie a knot. So wrap it around your finger and twist to make a knot at the end. We're gonna start with the 2-hole button. So grab your piece of colorful felt and your 2-hole button. Put the button on the felt and then grab your needle. We're gonna start from the back. So that way your knot is on the back of your fabric where no one can see it. Put the needle through the hole and pull tight. Then stick the needle down into the opposite hole and pull tight. Be careful you don't poke your finger. We're gonna repeat this process 4 times. So we're gonna take 4 stitches, bringing it up through the right-hand side and then putting it down through the left-hand side, pulling tight each time that we do this. On the 4th stitch, you're not gonna go through the felt. You're actually gonna come just to the back of the button like so. We're gonna create what's called a shank. So you're gonna wrap your thread around the button 4 times tightly. And if we were actually using the button to close something, this would help create some space so that way it's easier to button. After I've wrapped it 4 times and created that shank, I'm gonna poke my button to the back of the felt. So it should come down right where your knot was, right where all those stitches are, and then we're gonna tie a knot so that way it doesn't come out. So make a loop, put the needle through the loop, and then pull tight. So I usually do about 3 or 4 of these loops just to make sure that that knot is nice and tight and it doesn't get taken out. Then you're gonna grab a pair of scissors and then you're gonna cut close to the knot and it is sewn on and you can see that shank. So the 4 buttonhole is very similar. We're gonna start poking our needle from the back so that way the knot's in the back, and then we're gonna go diagonally across. So you're gonna take your 4 stitches in those same 2 holes. So coming up in one, going down in the other. So diagonally across 4 stitches. Be sure not to poke your finger. And then after you have done the 4 stitches, then you're gonna do the 2 that haven't been stitched yet. So I'm gonna poke up through one of them. It really doesn't matter which one. Pulling tight and go down across. So now you should have an X or a cross, whatever you wanna call it. And we're gonna do 4 stitches going across. And then just like the 2-hole button, after I do my 4th stitch, I'm gonna poke my needle through the back of the button, not through the felt, wrap it around 4 times to create that shank, pulling tightly, and then poke my needle down through the felt right there under the button and poking through. And then I'm gonna tie that knot just like I did for the 2-hole button. So making a loop and pulling through. So that's really all there is to sewing a button. You shouldn't have to take out a sewing machine to do it, although there are button feet. It's super quick to do this, and that's all there is. Make sure that you take a picture and submit it on Canvas. I hope you enjoyed learning to do your first sewing project.